What if we actually attract the relationship that we're meant to have based off of our current vibration and who we are? Because here's the thing, what I've discovered about relationships is that relationships are our sacred teachers. They are the sacred healing ground for us to see medicine that we need as a sacred reflection of what we actually need to heal from our deepest wounds. And if you're trying to manifest love, think about the reasons why you're manifesting it. What is the attachment that you actually want? Is it because it's coming out of a loneliness? Or is it because you want someone to love and adore you because you're missing that out on your own? We have to look at those real attachments and what we want. What payout are we getting? Because a lot of the times it's not actually the person that we want, it's the love and the feeling. And if you fall into any of these categories, which I've discovered, there's the avoidant and then there's the anxious. The type of relationship attachment style that you have is going to dictate the type of partner you actually end up attracting. So it's important to know what our deepest wounds are. And we look and realize that through our past relationships. What were we able to tolerate in the past? And what are we willing to tolerate now? And for a long time, I was very anxious. And I actually ended up going into avoidant. So I've actually been through both until eventually I reached the place of secure. I've been ping-ponged all around, done a lot of research as well. And what I discovered is when someone is anxious, they have a fear of abandonment. And that's what will trigger that fear of getting too close. Hey, this might be too good to be true, and you may want to push away. You might want to find a way to self-sabotage the relationship and get out of it. Because I have in the past, when I was way younger and I was in my anxiousness. They don't reply for an hour longer than they normally do, right? I'm like analyzing that and I'm like, dude, what did I do wrong? Is it me? Did something happen, right? And then you start like freaking out. So sometimes you can also sabotage the relationship by being too much, by freaking out too much and trying to create a activation strategy to have someone to give them a bait so you can lure them in. Start wondering like, a way to send them a message saying like, hey, are you okay? Is everything all right? And it's only been like an hour, right? But that's because of the fear of abandonment kicking in. And I've been there. I mean, let me know if you've been in there in the comments because that's a real thing. And it's a scary place to be. And if you've ever been there, and I know a lot of people have, and I've had girlfriends that have been like that too. And it is a real thing. And we have to understand where that deep wound is coming from and how we can see our behavior and recognize it, because our active relationship with our past is going to dictate how we're showing up in our relationships right now. And understanding our attachment style is going to help us discover how we relate within our relationships with others. And for me, after being anxious for a long time, and I finally broke up with that girlfriend after 2.5 years, and I was really young and we both did our best and I learned a lot from it and I'm grateful for the experience and I hope she's doing well. And I was able to become who I am today to make this video and content for you all due to that relationship, right? So I also now realize I can connect the dots looking back and see how I benefited and grown, because I don't act that way anymore either. Part of realizing that I was anxious after that relationship ended, I actually ended up going towards more avoidant. And I ended up not wanting intimacy with others because I was afraid of getting hurt. It hurt. That relationship hurt so much because like it wasn't the best relationship. I mean, we loved each other dearly. We really did. It was like a ride or die situation. And we were both starting to die because we didn't know how to communicate properly. I didn't know how to do that either, right? And because it hurt so much, I'm like, finally we broke up and we're not getting back together this time. I was afraid of being hurt again. So I started pushing people away. And during that era, I was partying a lot every weekend. And I was surrounded by so many gorgeous women and beautiful women who wanted to love me. And I was pushing away from that. You know, there was a couple women, especially this one, just such a sweetheart too. And I knew it. She was calling for me. And then she said it one day. She's like, you're the only guy that I haven't been able to get to sleep with me if I wanted. And then in that moment, I told her like, the reason why is, well, number one, your name is similar to my ex. You're wonderful. And then, I had that thing similar to my ex. So you're afraid of getting hurt, right? And I'm like, you're wonderful. You're an amazing person. And this such a sweetheart soul. And I told her that, and I told her I had to be vulnerable in that moment on why I really was not wanting to do anything with her. I couldn't hold it. It was just like that. So I told her, and then I started showing her pictures of my ex, which was a little weird. And you know what's funny is like I only showed her pictures of my ex and her face, and then she's like, you know what I just realized is all these pictures you showed me are every single one of them is of her face, none of her, you know, fat booty or anything like that. And it was like, because I was hurt and I was wounded, and I couldn't provide and give the love that this beautiful woman deserved. And she ended up getting married later on, which was, I'm so happy she's in a very good relationship and she's happy is what it seems like. And she was also my number one fan when I first started like DJing. She would, you know, be there and she was always hanging around me. So if you ever find this video, you know who you are, and I absolutely adore and love you. Thanks for those weed socks, by the way. They had a good life with me. Either way, though, I was afraid to get hurt, and I knew deeply that I didn't want to hurt her. And so after being in this party area of my life, and once that ended, I started going into a very secure attachment style. I just started being okay with things. I finally did the healing work and realized that I was hurting because of this relationship. I'm pushing people away. And I did get into this secure mode. And then I started dating this other person after a few years. This is during the time like I was going to like school for nursing, getting my prerequisites done. I think it was just like right after that, and I had gotten a job. And then I started dating this woman who ended up being a covert narcissist. It was horrible, and it was such a great experience because I was secure in the relationship, and this person actually was struggling. Like she had really bad past and everything like that. And she would actually push me away. She was avoidant. And she would get drunk and like acting weird and funny. And then one night she was so drunk, she was like, I was trying to like I wasn't very much drinking at all. And I was trying to take her to the car so I can take her home. And she also had a really big drinking problem. Like first night we hung out after I haven't seen her in like months. She was, you know, partying with me. Like she had this bottle of tequila she was downing, and she's like, oh, you want some? And I'm like, no, I'm good. And we just like chatted for like hours till like 6 a.m. And she just drank the whole bottle. Like eventually dating her also, I started getting into a lot of drinking because I don't know, it was just what we did. And the crazy part about this relationship was that night she was acting such a fool, and she's like, I'm only doing this so that way I can push you away and you won't like me anymore and you can just leave me alone. Right? So she was pushing me away. And at the same time, me being loving, and I also had other wounds, worthiness, and I wanted to love someone, and I wanted to prove my worth by loving her even deeper, especially hearing her sob stories, which narcissists will use, by the way. Watch out for them. They will lure you into the sob story of their whole life so you can be a knight in shining armor. And once they know that you can do that for them, they know that you will go to the ends of the world no matter how crazy they start acting. And they do it subtly. It slowly builds. So they want you to show up as that knight in shining armor. And if you're wondering why I'm dressed like this, I've been making content with leggings and stuff, my booty showing, but this is what I wore to the gym. So point is though, she was avoidant, right? And then I was trying to make things work as much as possible. And because she was so avoidant, I ended up falling into, because it started, the relationship started getting really crazy, and I started becoming more anxious again. Because that's what narcissists do. They want to control you. And here's the thing about avoidant people. Their fear is the loss of freedom. So we have anxious people who fear being abandoned, and avoidant people fear their sovereignty, their freedom, their ability to control their lives going away if they get into a relationship. And this woman had a lot of trauma. She absolutely did, and didn't want to see a therapist or a psychologist, which was wild to me. I even booked her appointments. She canceled all of them, and then started telling me I needed therapy. And I'm like, all right, I do. I had abuse and stuff I want to work through, and I want to do the work. So I did. I got one anyway. She didn't. It was wild to see that little twist. Point is, though, she wanted to avoid getting into the relationship. And also, what was really weird was she also was out of fear of abandonment. So it was kind of both. It was an anxious avoidant. And I started becoming more anxious around her as I started falling into the narcissistic play. And I know this story is a little long. I hope this really helps you. I'm glad I get to finally like create content this way again through my camera and my microphone. So I'm just like, yes, I can make long content again, long form, and not these quick videos. And either way, though, it was weird because I started going back to my anxious style, and you will always resort back to whichever one you are most. That's just how that works. The trick is, though, so here's the thing, what I mean by attracting. If you have unhealed areas in your life, you will attract a partner to match that vibration of yours so it can be healed. That's why it's a sacred medicine. It's a sacred teacher. That's why relationships reflect your deepest wounds. Please say it with me. I don't care where you are right now. You're at work, whatever. If you really want to make a shift in your life and your relationships and the way you attract a healthy partner, say it right now. Say it out loud. Relationships are our sacred teachers that reflect our deepest wounds. One more time. Relationships are our sacred teachers that reflect our deepest wounds. They do. And unless you have leaned into your secure, you will eventually find a partner. I hope you do. I genuinely, you deserve love. All right, sweetheart. Eventually you get to the secure place and you can have a healthy relationship. And once you do, this is when you start knowing how to set boundaries, especially with anxious people who also tend to be people pleasers, and with avoidants who tend to be very controlling because they need to control the relationship to feel safe because their fear is not being in control. While the the anxious one is afraid of abandonment. So they'll people please. They'll start sending those texts. How are you? What can I do for you? Can I do this, and XYZ? Does that prove I'm worthy? Can I be your knight in shining armor? Shining armor. So it's recognizing the play that you've been acting, right? Because if you can do this, no matter if you have an avoidant partner or an anxious partner, if you love this person, I'm not saying just leave people. Do your best to actually evolve and grow within your relationship so that way you can do your best, right? What this means is understanding who they are. And this comes with the self-reflection, like, hey, let's find out what our attachment styles are. I'm more anxious, you're more avoidant. This is the anxious avoidant trap. And I would like for us to have a healthier relationship where we understand these things and we can come to the secure part, because I love you. You're an anxious person. Hey, I love you. And I don't want to take away your freedom. I want you to feel free. I would like it if you stopped controlling me as much, though. So now you set a boundary because you're an anxious person. And I don't want to have to feel like I need to do X, Y, and Z in order for you to stick around, because avoidant people will keep you at arm's length. Only when they feel, well, they want intimacy too. They just want it to the level and degree that it's comfortable for them. So if you are someone, even if you're a secure person, they'll do secure people too. And that's what it means to be secure. Once you go from anxious to secure, you set boundaries. Like, this is what I need in this relationship. I'm not here just to fulfill your desires, and I'm okay with leaving. And here's the other thing about avoidant people. When they start realizing that you're leaving, especially narcissistic people, it's funny how avoidant people tend to be more narcissistic because they want control. And it's not really their fault. It doesn't mean anything they do is correct or right. It means that they just don't know better. This is their way they get a sense of safety. They manipulate their environment, their needs met. And sometimes anxious people please to get their needs met because they want that validation and approval. So you let them know. And once you go from secure, right, you can set these healthy boundaries and you're not afraid to leave. And that's the thing, is avoidant people, when they catch you, or narcissistic people catch you leaving and you're realizing this is not good for me, even after you expressed it, they will try to hook you back in. They'll want to be the knight in shining armor. Hey, it's okay, come back. They want you to come back. And the only way you should come back is if you stop tolerating this stuff and express a boundary. This is the only way it's going to work. Are you capable of doing this? Are you able to step up to this plate because you want to be this version for me to have this relationship? If it's not who you are, it's okay. Thank you. We've discovered more of ourselves in the process and know what we need for a healthy relationship. So you can communicate. Communication is the biggest key. And you cannot rely on your fear that you won't find somebody else. That's a limiting belief. And if you believe that story, guess what, Buttercup? You are not going to take a strategy that means dating again. Or if you're too in fear of dating, like, you just won't take action. Strategy means action, the action that you take and how you take it. And if you tell yourself a story, a limiting belief, it's going to affect your state and you're going to be in fear. Maybe you won't leave this unhealthy relationship. And on the other side of this comfort that you unknown is the relationship that you're seeking. If you can't make this one work, do your best so you can gain all the abilities and skills and lessons and move towards a healthy relationship. Because most people will accept the devil they know over the angel they don't. It's comfortable. You literally create Stockholm syndrome for yourself because comfort is the ego's way of preserving itself. And sometimes the unknown is scary because of all the pain of the past. What if this happens? What if that happens? What if it works out? What if it turns out better than you can imagine? Why don't you give yourself that unlimited belief? Start shifting to unlimited beliefs versus limiting. Why are we, dude, I just had a breakthrough. I'm going to start talking about unlimiting beliefs. Fuck limiting beliefs. Why are we always talking about the pain and the blah, blah, blah? Let's go to unlimiting. Unlimiting beliefs are, it's going to work out for me. It's going to fucking work out and it's going to turn out better than I can imagine because it always does. When hasn't something turned out better than you could imagine? I mean, it doesn't turn out the way you thought it would, right? Most of the time, it turns out better than you can imagine. So if you want to attract a healthy relationship, it starts with your own vibration and how you feel and act within the relationships that you have, knowing and understanding your attachment style, if you're anxious or if you're avoidant, and you got to understand how to communicate this. And the more you understand who you are, the better you can also express it with a partner. So that way you can work together. And the whole point is to lean from the two far spread aparts of anxious and avoidant to secure. So once you get to this place, you will know what to look for. So next time you go on a date with somebody who you can start seeing red flags, it's not just, hey, red flag, I'm out. I'm going to express my voice, express my needs, set a boundary. Hey, is this okay with you? This is what I need out of the relationship in order for this to continue. Are you okay with that? If no, we can go our separate ways. I'll continue dating. Red flags, sweethearts, do not forget, these are good. These are good things to have. It doesn't mean run away. They're more of like a yellow flag. If it's a red flag, it's like they just did something crazy. Like they just whipped it out, dropped it on the table, and they're like, very nice, how much? Nice, how much? That's a red flag where you run. That's not even a question. That's like, I'm out. You know, like that's for sure not worth. You can't want to challenge yourself. Because here's what a challenge is. It's just a worthy opponent. And I challenge you, here's the Vency challenge. I challenge you to find out what story you're telling yourself about the belief that you have within your relationships, how you feel about it, the emotional state, about when you think about that story. How do you feel? Like, does it feel good or does it feel bad? Because if it doesn't feel good and you're looking at that story of the past, I challenge you to make a decision to change. Because eventually that pain becomes too much. And if the pain is too much, usually that's when change happens. And the only constant in the universe is change. So either invite the change or you're going to be stuck in the unhappiness until that pain gets too much. And now once you realize these two things, how you feel about it, and you're ready to make this change, which I'm challenging you to do, this is a worthy opponent. This is a very worthy opponent if you want to find the love that you deserve or attract the love that you deserve. And then you start taking the right strategy. Maybe you need to get on a dating site and try and then communicate. Start exercising your new abilities to communicate with people in a healthy way. And then just because you don't see the result right away, you know what that means? It means you're not ready. It means you're not ready for the right relationship. It means there's still some more lessons that God source creator, Allah, purple monkey dishwasher in the sky. Now, is it a freaking purple monkey washing dishes or is it a dishwasher washing purple monkeys? That's up to you to decide because you're the creator. You get to decide that. Or is it both? You can have both right next to each other. That's how powerful you are. Just because it doesn't work right away, it means there's more lessons that you need to learn to exceed and exercise more of who you are, this new you, to get that healthy relationship. So like and subscribe, comment. I love you so much. I hope this helps you. Let me know how it does. Peace out.